I arrived at my ex-husband's family funeral with our 5 children beside me, and the murmurs began before we reached the gravesite. But when he finally looked at them and recognized his own features in every face, the woman who helped break our marriage went white, and I knew the truth she had hidden was about to unravel in front of everyone. I brought 5 kids to my ex-husband's family funeral. When he saw his own face repeated 5 times, the woman who destroyed my marriage went pale. They started whispering before we even reached the grave. I walked onto Whitmore land in my army dress uniform, 5 kids beside me. 10 years since I'd stood on this ground. 10 years since Grant threw me away over a lie. My name is Savannah Cole. I came back to bury a kind man and expose a cruel one. Ethan was 10 now, tall, Grant's exact eyes. Noah and Luke walked behind him. Rose and Emma held my hands. None of them had ever met their father's family. They knew his name. They didn't know the truth yet. 10 years ago, Vanessa Hale told Grant I'd been unfaithful. A hotel folio, a blurry photo, a stranger's word. It was a lie. That hotel was a military training site. The man in the photo was in my unit. Grant gave me 10 minutes to explain myself. Then he chose to believe her instead. I left that night. 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. Not with 1 baby, with 5. I called to tell him. Vanessa answered his phone. "No more emotional manipulation," she said, and hung up on me. The next morning, I texted Grant myself. His reply, "There is nothing left to discuss except the divorce." I kept that message for 10 years. I thought it was proof he never wanted us. I was wrong about who actually wrote it. Now Grant stood by his father's casket in a black suit, older, still unmistakable. His eyes drifted to my children, one by one. Ethan's eyes, Luke's jaw, Rose's nervous little crease by her cheek, Emma's Whitmore chin, Noah's face, a copy of Grant's at 10 years old. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Vanessa saw him staring and stepped between us, smiling like she owned the ground under her heels. "Well," she said, eyeing my uniform, "I see the army never taught you when not to make a scene." Rose stepped forward before I could stop her. "He was our grandfather," she said. "We came to say goodbye." Grant was already walking toward us, eyes locked on the children like he was doing math in his head and hating the answer. Savannah. My name sounded different in his mouth than I remembered. "What is this?" "5 children," I said. "At their grandfather's funeral." His face went white. I reached into my bag and pulled out the envelope I'd carried for 10 years. Inside, the paternity results, the real hotel records, a notarized statement from the officer who stood beside me that night, and one email Vanessa never thought I'd find. Vanessa's smile cracked the second she saw it in my hand. "Savannah, don't," she said. "Not here." Grant looked at her face, then at the envelope, then back at her face. "What's in it?" he asked me. I held it out to him. "The part of the story you never gave me time to finish." His hands weren't steady when he broke the seal. The first page was the paternity report. His eyes dropped to the bottom line, then rose to me, then swept over all 5 kids standing behind me in the gray Georgia light. "All 5?" he whispered. "All 5. He turned to the next page. The real hotel booking, stamped and dated. His jaw went tight. Then he reached the last page. Vanessa's own email, typed and signed with her name. He read it once, read it twice, then lifted his eyes off the paper and found Vanessa standing 3 feet away, no longer smiling at all. "What exactly?" Grant said. "Did you know?" Vanessa didn't answer. She just looked at me, like she finally understood I hadn't come here for closure. I'd come here with proof. Full story on channel, link below.